Hi, my name is Linda Paz. As a practicing registered nurse and health consultant, I'm passionate about healthy eating that's simple in preparation and planning. Most of all, it has to taste good. Today, I'd like to show you how to prepare a healthy and simple granola. And what I like about this recipe is that it's economical and you can adapt the ingredients to suit your taste. As opposed to store-bought granola, you know what's in the ingredients, what makes it taste all the better. So let's get started. So what we're going to do is combine all of the dry ingredients in one bowl and all the wet ingredients in another bowl and stir it together. Voila, you put it in the oven and you're done. So we have 4 to 5 cups of rolled oats. Oats are a wonderful source of fiber, and fiber helps decrease the triglyceride part of your cholesterol. It also helps you feel full for a longer length of time and prevents sugar spikes. So we'll add this to our bowl, our dry bowl. And I had it pre-measured. Okay, and then we'll take 1 cup of nuts. Now feel free to use any nut, but for our purposes tonight, we're going to use a walnut. Walnuts are a good source of omega-3 oils. They also their skin has what's called a plant phenol, and plant phenols help protect plants from bacteria, fungus, and from ultraviolet light. So in a sense, they have their own built-in sunscreen. So we'll put those into our dry ingredients. And we're also going to use pumpkin seeds. Feel free, again, to use any type of seed. You can use sunflower seeds, hemp seeds, sesame seeds. But what I like about pumpkin seeds is they're so full of vitamins and nutrients. They have carbohydrates, amino acids, vitamins A and E and K, and they also are a really good source of calcium and iron. So we have a half a cup, or you can use a half a cup to 1 cup is fine, depending on what your taste is. And excuse me, we're also going to add 1 cup of shredded coconut. Coconut, the more mature the coconut is, the more ingredients it has. Just a little side note, 1/3 of the world's population depends on coconuts not only for its nutrition, but for its economic growth. So, they use everything from the leaves to the root. So we'll add that in. And we use an unsweetened organic type of coconut. And 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup of wheat germ. Wheat germ is the embryo of the wheat berry and another highly concentrated source of nutrients. Vitamin B1, B6, folate, and so now we know that the health benefits of the wheat germ. So we'll add that into our ingredients. And then for our dried fruit, I chose a goji berry. Goji berries are a Himalayan superfood, really packed full with vitamin A and vitamin C. And they add, together with the pumpkin seed and the red goji berries, it adds a little color. It makes it a little more interesting for those who are skeptics. Okay, and so we'll mix those dry ingredients together. Alright, I'm going to get started. Before I add the wet ingredients, stir this around so we'll have less stirring after we put the wet on there. And in the pot I have 1 to 1 cup of boiling water. The reason the water has to be boiling or hot so that the ingredients sort of melt together. And if we're going to use you can use different types of sugar, so I think it's pretty good here. Get that going here. See how pretty that looks, nice and red and green. Okay, So we have our cup of water, and I'm going to add half a cup of agave nectar to this. All right. And agave nectar is a low glycemic sugar, which means that the body responds to it in a slower pace to prevent any sugar spikes. You can also use a coconut sugar, a date sugar, but honey and maple syrup are more high glycemic, so just keep that in mind. And then we have 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Vanilla is from the orchid plant. Okay, and a half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Cinnamon has anti-inflammatory properties, so that's a little tidbit about that. Okay, so then you want to stir that together. Sometimes the cinnamon takes a little time to dissolve, but just be patient. It'll get there. There we go. You can kind of break up the bubbles, the little lumps in there if you'd like. Okay. Now feel free to change out some of these ingredients. For example, you could also add some pomegranate molasses. That gives it a nice balance of flavor. Sometimes I use an instant espresso powder, which gives it another layer of flavor. And I've even made this recipe with orange rind, an organic orange rind. Give that a little, just to, change it up a little bit. Okay, so that's all dissolved, and all you do is just mix it all together. See how simple that is? Very, very little preparation. And you stir it all up. Make sure that all of the wet ingredients are incorporated into the oats. So I'll do that. We've got sort of like a red, green, and white coconut. I really love this recipe. It's actually, I made it many, many times. It's sort of a combination between 2 and 3 recipes that I found that work. And if you notice, there's no oil in here and there's no salt. I tried it with salt and it comes out, it really doesn't make that big of a difference. So if you're restricted, you won't be missing out on anything. Okay, then once it's all together, and I can tell, it's pretty well coated, you put it in the oven at 250 degrees for about an hour and a half. And the benefit of the lower temperature, the longer cooking time, is that you will retain most of the vitamins, minerals, and the nutrients. If you feel free to turn up the heat, but just keep that in mind. More benefits, low and slow, remember. And I do like to check in on it maybe every 15 to 20 minutes. And make sure you stir it so it bakes evenly. So once that's completed, here it is. Here's the finished product. Look how beautiful that is. There you go. And actually, it actually makes 2 baking sheets. This was one recipe. And there's no oil at all. I didn't spray it. No papers on there. I never had a problem with it sticking. So enjoy.